Hey everybody, it's Ron and Elliot for another edition of Ask Ron. First up this week is Tim Barnes from New York.
Hey Tim.
Tim's got two questions for you. His first one is, where and how do we advertise for private money to fund deals so that we are legally compliant?
Well, that's a good question, Tim, and the answer is you never advertise for private money because it would be illegal. SEC prohibits you publicly advertising for money under Rule 506A. Now the new Rule 506B does allow you to publicly advertise for money, but don't do it because the restrictions that come along with that rule will probably take you out of the game. Honestly, I don't see what they accomplished by creating 506B because if you use it, you literally have to prove, well, first it's accredited investors only, and that means they must be worth over $1 million, and that does not include their home equity anymore, and or have a substantial income the last couple of years running. But you have to make them prove that now. You can't just get them to sign a statement, and then there's a bunch of other restrictions that come along with it as well, Tim. So I would strongly advise you do not go under 506B and openly advertise for private money or any other security for that matter. 506A in its generality says that you can solicit for money once you have a relationship with them. So in that light, if you go to your Gold Club website, you'll see a private lender website button over on your left. If you press that, it'll bring you to you fill in the blanks, and then voila, you've got a website up and running that gives away a free CD called Here's a Safe Alternative to the Stock Market. Now on that CD it tells them why they should consider private lending. It does not ask for money, and it does not mention an interest rate. That CD is one that I created to state what private lending is all about with the good and the bad on it. Then at the end of that CD I tell them to give it back to you and create a relationship. Now in order to get that CD, which is right on your site, you can download it and have the CDs made. You can download the letter that goes with it as well, put in your information. And in order to get that, they have to give you their contact information, of course, so you can send them the CD. When you've received the request for this, here's a safe alternative to the stock market, which is of course attracting people that are looking for something to do with their money, which is the kind of people you want to attract. Send them the CD and then follow up with them in a week or so, and in my opinion at that point you have a relationship with them. They've ordered a free CD from you, you've contacted them 2 or 3 times by now, and just follow up, find out if they're interested. And then if they're interested, just tell them what you do and what they should do next, which is nothing until you find the deal, and then they send the money directly to your attorney's office for the gross amount of the loan. So there are a couple of also training videos on private lending on your Gold Club site. You can hunt those down as well. But you do not want to openly advertise for money, but you can certainly give away something that creates a relationship that you can then ask for money at a later date.
Tim's other questions is, if I acquire a property subject to or a sandwich lease option, do I keep the homeowner's hazard insurance in place?
Well, you've got 2 different questions there, Tim. If you acquire it subject to, the answer is no, because you've taken title to the property and now the insurance becomes your issue. You tell the owner to cancel their policy and you get a landlord's policy if you're going to stay in the house and put a tenant in it or whatever. If you own the house, you must insure the house. On a sandwich lease option, you do not own the house. Therefore, the insurance stays in the seller's name because the seller owns the house. So the insurance is the seller's problem. When you collect rent and pass it on to the seller, you are in fact paying their principal, interest, taxes, and insurance anyway, so you're paying for it, but just not directly. Again, if you own the house, you insure the house. If you don't own the house, you can't insure the house.
Simply put. Next up is William Clark from Arizona.
Hey, William.
William's asking, can you provide some basic information about subordination and how that works? I've heard of it, but I have no clue what it means.
Well, William, I might just have to do a lesson on that. I don't think I've done one. I assume you have checked the massive roster of lessons on your Gold Club site under training. Elliot just picked it up, so we'll probably do one in the future. But subordination is really nothing more than asking the seller to take a second mortgage and allowing you to put a new first mortgage on the property to raise the capital to generally pay the seller a down payment and probably do repairs and then some. For example, if a seller's asking $200,000 for the house, but you think it's worth $300 renovated, and it needs $30,000 worth of work, then you would ask the seller, and let's say the seller is happy with $25,000 down. Write that down. 200 purchase price. It needs 30 in work, and the seller wants $25,000 down. So you need $30,000 for the repairs and $25,000 for the seller. So you need $55,000 right there. Plus, I want you to always borrow more than you need. So in my case, I'd direct you to go get a $75,000 first mortgage from a private lender on the house. Make note, $75,000 first mortgage. A condition of your purchase is that you ask the seller to go in second position. So if you bought the house for $200 and you gave him $25,000, you owe him $175,000. So the seller would be taking back a second mortgage for $175,000 behind your first mortgage from a private lender for $75,000. You see, your private lender is not going to lend you the money unless they're in good low loan to value position. That's why the seller must be in second position for this deal to work. You can't give the seller a $175,000 first and expect any private lender to give you a $75,000 second. It's just too high loan to value ratio. So by making the seller go in second, I borrow the $75,000, I pay the seller their $25,000, and I got $30,000 in escrow for repairs, and I got some money left over. And that's exactly what I want to happen if you're going to do a subordination deal. Don't worry about how it's closed. Your attorney does all of the paperwork. All you need is a purchase and sale agreement that says the seller will subordinate to a new first mortgage. And of course, you better make sure you structure any payments to the seller on that $175,000 and add them to whatever you're going to pay on the $75,000 to make sure that you don't price yourself right out of the game on a monthly payment. Generally, in deals like this, I ask the seller to take a no payment, no interest second mortgage with some sort of a short-term balloon, 3-4 years or so. That way I don't have to worry about making a payment on that second. And then I only make a payment on that $75,000 first to the private lender, and then it's only interest only. So my monthly payment is very, very low in the time that I'm buying the property and fixing the property and even installing a tenant buyer in the house and helping them get their credit cleaned up so they can cash me out. By the way, you do that at screenthetenant.com. Brand new service we got set up for you to screen them and have their credit repaired while they're in the house. So, seller goes in second position with $175,000. I get a new first from a private lender. I've only got it financed for $250,000. It's worth $300,000, and I've got the money in my account to do the repairs with. That's why subordination works so well. I raise the money on the property that the seller owns to raise the capital. I use the property to raise the capital to pay the seller and do the repairs, and then have some excess cash left over. I use it very heavily in commercial property, large commercial deals, and I've used the subordination many, many times over the years in single family house deals. So I hope that makes you understand it better. You're probably going to have to go back and watch this tape about 3 times, because I'm not sure I know what I just said, but it sounded good. What's the next question, Elliot?
Next up is Ricky Chang from Hawaii.
Hey, Ricky.
Says aloha, Ron. Yeah. Have you ever done any deals in Hawaii?
No.
If so, okay, well that answers the second question.
Okay, I haven't. It's too far away, Ricky. I got plenty to do right here. I don't need to fly halfway around the world and do deals. However, I got a few students in Hawaii. They're doing deals. I honestly haven't heard from them lately. I don't know what's going on over there, but I do know that people have houses for sale and others have houses to buy, and as long as that's the case, there's plenty for you to do in Hawaii. Of course, you got to learn the rules like we do in any other state and just adapt them. I do know that in Hawaii you got a lot of land, there are a lot of buildings that are sitting on leased land, so you don't get the property with the deal, but hey, that's normal over there on some types of property. It doesn't stop you from doing anything that we currently do. So go make money and don't worry about the fact that you're in Hawaii. In fact, we envy you, man. We envy you. Hawaii is one of my favorite places in the whole world. So go make some money so you can live there and stay there and enjoy it. And tell Steve McGarrett I said hello.
That's all the questions we have for you this week, Ron.
Okay, see you guys next week. And I assume that you registered for the convention yet. Am I going to have to stay on your case till you do? Get registered for the convention. We're filling up fast. The hotel is almost full already. Get registered. RES2014.com. RES, as in Summit, 2014.com. We got a lot of cool things going on there. In fact, we're looking for the truck right now. What color do you want? You want white? You want blue? You want red? You want pink? Let us know in case you're the winner. See you next week.